So in today's class we will understand how to derive the inductance of a double circuit transmission lines. First we need to understand what is meant by a double circuit line, right? So a double circuit line is a line in which each phase is divided into two parts, right? We have three phases basically, and we know that there are three phases. What are the three phases? The three phases are the phase A. Let me change the ink. So the three phases that we have in a three-phase transmission lines are A, B and C. So in a double circuit line, each phase is divided into two parts and each part is allowed in one side of the supporting tower. So when you have a supporting tower, the supporting tower has two sides. This is one side and this is another side. So each phase of the three-phase transmission line is divided into two parts and each part is allowed in one side of the supporting tower. Then we can call such a line as a double circuit line. Why we are using double circuit lines? In order to increase the inductance of the transmission lines. For extra high voltage transmission lines, the corona effect will be higher. So in order to increase the distance or in order to increase the size of the conductor, we divide the phase into two parts and we maintain a larger distance between the two parts so that the effect of corona will be reduced in case of extra high voltage lines. So we will prefer the double circuit connection of transmission lines only for high voltage or extra high voltage transmission lines, right? Now we'll understand what are the different ways of connecting double circuit lines. First way of connecting double circuit line is symmetrical spacing. Symmetrical spacing is also called as hexagonal spacing. Symmetrical spacing is also called as hexagonal spacing, right? So if you see the diagram at the left side, you can understand how a hexagonal spacing or a symmetrical spaced conductor looks like. See, this is phase A, means one conductor of phase A, and this is another conductor of the same phase. So we divided the total phase into a single phase into two parts and we allow each part on one side of the supporting tower. So we call this type of arrangement as double circuit arrangement, right? Now here also if you observe phase B here, and this is another part of another conductor of phase B. This is phase C and this is another conductor of phase C. Like this, by dividing each phase into two parts, we allow each part at one side of the supporting tower by maintaining a larger distance. See, you can place A, B, C like this, and you can also place here A, B, C. In that case, the distance between two conductors of the same phase will have is a lesser value, right? When you maintain A here and another A here, another conductor of A here, one conductor of A here, you will have a larger distance, right? Means the geometric mean radius of A phase will be more when you have this type of arrangement, right? So if you place the conductors like this, AA, BB, CC, and you can also place the conductors like this, ABC, and here ABC. This is the first way of connecting, and this is the second way of connecting the double circuit line. Here if you observe, the distance between A to A is lesser. It indicates the geometric mean radius of A phase is lesser. In the second case, if you observe, here the distance between the two conductors of A phase is larger. Here also the distance between the two conductors in a hexagonal spacing, if you observe, will be larger. Similarly, this distance. Like this, the GMR, which is the geometric mean radius in the second configuration, will be greater when compared to geometric mean radius in the first case. That is the reason why we place the phases at extreme corners, right? So like that I have considered the conductors here. So this is A1, this is B1, and this is C1. And at extremely opposite to A1 I considered A2. At extremely opposite to B1 I considered B2. At extremely opposite to C1 I considered C2. These are the three conductors at one side of the supporting tower, and these are the another three conductors at another side of the second side of the supporting tower. Now if the distance between any two adjacent conductors is the same, we call this as a regular hexagon. Regular hexagon means if the side length of means if the length of each side of a hexagon is the same, we can call this as a regular hexagon, right? If you observe this arrangement also looks like that the conductors are arranged at the corners of a regular hexagon, having equal distances between each and every adjacent conductors. So we can call this type of arrangement as symmetrical way of arranging the double circuit lines. It is not a single circuit, it is a double circuit. Each phase has two parts, and each part is allowed on one side of the supporting tower. We call this type of arrangement as double circuit line. One way of arranging the double circuit line is a symmetrical way, right? Now according to the properties of hexagon, let me go through the second slide. I think you have understood how we can call this as a symmetrical arrangement, or this type of arrangement is called as hexagonal spacing arrangement, or symmetrical spacing arrangement of double circuit lines, right? Now if you observe, I have drawn the diagram again. So these are seeming like they are arranged at the corners of a regular hexagon. A hexagon which has the parts of equal sizes, which has the sides of equal lengths, we can call it as a regular hexagon. So this distance is D, this distance is D, like this distance is also D. According to the properties of hexagon mathematically, we have the distance between the extreme ends as 2 times D, and we have the distance between the alternate conductors or alternate vertices is root 3D. Okay, so no need to derive these distances here, because these are the obtained from the properties of hexagon. If a regular hexagon is having each side of value, each side of length D, then between the extreme corners the distance will be 2 times D, and between the alternate corners the distance will be root 3 times D. Now how can I find the inductance? Let me start the derivation here. How can I find the inductance? The inductance can be determined, the inductance of a conductor LA1 means the inductance of this conductor. It is not the phase here. A1, A2 combinedly called as a phase A, B1, B2 combinedly called as phase B, C1, C2 combinedly called as phase C, right? So how can I find the inductance of conductor? What is LA1? LA1 is nothing but inductance of conductor A1. Inductance of conductor A1. How can I find that inductance? If I know the flux linkage of conductor A1 in a group of conductors containing A1, A2, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So totally there are 6 number of conductors. In that 6 group, we need to find the flux linkage of conductor A1 by using the basics. Means we have understood how to find or how to write the generalized expression for the flux linkage of one conductor in a group of conductors. Is it right? And in addition to that, one thing which we need to keep in our mind is this one, which is here A1 and A2 are parallel. A1 and A2 are parallel B1 and B2 are parallel, between the sending end and the receiving end, the conductors A1 and A2 are parallel, B1, B2 are parallel, C1, C2 are parallel. As they are parallel, the current will be divided equally. So the current through the conductor A1 and the current through the conductor A2 is half of the phase current IA. So these are the things which we need to keep in our mind before finding the inductance of conductor A1. After finding the inductance of conductor A1, we can find the inductance of A phase. Inductance of A phase. Now, if you observe the same diagram, I have taken the same diagram. Now, lambda A can be given by 2 times 10 power minus 7. Is it right? Now, how many terms you will get? You will get 6 terms. Why we will get 6 terms? Because we need to find the flux due to, means flux linking with A1 due to the current flowing through A1 itself, and the flux linking with A1 due to current flowing through B1, and due to current flowing through C1, due to current flowing through C2, due to current flowing through B2, due to current flowing through A2. Like that you will get 6 terms. Now it is 2 times 10 power minus 7. What is the first current? This current. Now this current is half of the total phase current. So it is IA by 2 ln of, what is the distance from A to A? It is R dash. It is a single conductor, right? So the geometric mean radius is R dash. Plus, now we need to know this current. What is this current? It is half of the phase B current. So it is IB by 2 ln of, what is the distance from B1 to A1? D. So ln of 1 by D. Similarly, plus, what is this current? This current means the current flowing through the conductor C1 is half of the phase current IC. So it is IC by 2 ln of, what is the distance from C1 to A1? These two are the alternate corners. So the distance is root 3 times D. So root 3 times D. Plus, what is the next current? All these 3 conductors are completed and we have the remaining 3. What is C2? Means current flowing through C2 is again IC by 2 ln of, what is the distance between C2 and A1? D. So ln of 1 by D plus, and the current flowing through B2 is IB by 2 ln of, what is the distance between B2 and A1? Again these are alternate corners, right? When you have one conductor in between these two, we can consider these as alternate corners and we can take the distance as root 3 times D. So it is ln of 1 by root 3 times D plus, what is the last current? The current flowing through the current flowing through A2, and it is again half of the phase current IA. So it is IA by 2 into ln of 1 by, now these two are the extreme corners. B1, B2 are the extreme corners. So the distance is 2 times D. A1, A2 are the extreme corners. Again the distance is 2 times D. C1, C2 are the extreme corners. The distance is 2 times D. So it is ln of 1 by 2 times D. Now when you simplify this expression, so lambda A is equal to 2 times 10 power minus 7 for this term and for the last term. First and last terms has the common IA by 2. So I can take IA by 2 as common ln of, because it is like ln of A plus ln of B. Ln of A plus ln of B can be written as ln of AB. Okay, so I am not writing the formulas again here for the natural logarithms, because in the last class I have written many formulas, so you need to understand directly. Plus, here for this term you have IB by 2 and for this term you have IB by 2. So I am taking IB by 2 as common ln of, because it is ln of A, ln of B, ln of AB. So 1 by D into 1 by root 3D, it is 1 by root 3 times D square. Similarly, what is the last term? For this term, for the third term and for the fourth term, the common thing is IC by 2. So IC by 2 is common, and it is like again here I made a small mistake. Instead of writing it in the denominator, I have written this in the numerator, right? This is a small mistake, sorry for that. So here you will get again 1 by root 3 times d. Now what is the term you will get? IC by 2 into ln of 1 by root 3 times d square. This is lambda a value. Now if you observe for the second and third terms, you have ln of 1 by root 3 d square, and here also you have 1 by root 3 d square. So directly I can take IB plus IC whole divided by 2 with ln of this term. Okay, let me do that in the next next page. So now lambda A1 is nothing but flux linkage of the conductor A1 in this group containing 6 conductors. So it is again 2 times 10 power minus 7 into IA by 2 into ln of, what you got here, 1 by 2d r dash, ln of 1 by 2d r dash plus IB plus IC by 2 into ln of 1 by root 3 d square, right? So this is lambda A1. Now we know that as the system is under balanced condition, is it right? Okay, so let me select okay, as the system is balanced, now IA plus IB plus IC, sum of all the phase currents is equal to 0. It indicates that IB plus IC is equal to minus IA. So lambda A1 can be written as 2 times 10 power minus 7 into IA by 2 as it is, ln of 1 by 2d r dash plus, in place of IB plus IC I can replace minus IA, but if I interchange the numerator and denominator here inside the natural logarithm, minus IA can become plus IA. So plus IA by 2 ln of root 3 d square. Now by taking IA by 2 as common, in both the terms you have IA by 2 as common, so lambda A1 is equal to 2 times 10 power minus 7 by 2 into IA by 2 I have taken them as common, and it is like ln of A plus ln of B, so ln of AB. Now it will become ln of root 3 d square divided by 2d r dash, right? So what you will get, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. Now lambda A1 is equal to 1 into 10 power minus 7 IA ln of 1d gets cancelled, so it becomes root 3 d by 2 r dash, root 3 d by root 3 d. What is d? Capital D, it is the side length of hexagonal spacing, or it is the distance between any two adjacent conductors in a symmetrically spaced 3-phase double circuit line, right? So root 3 divided by 2 r dash, what is the unit for this? Weber turn per meter. But this is the flux linkage of conductor. Now how can I find the inductance per conductor? For one conductor I can divide the flux linkage with the current. What is the current? Current is half of the total current, right? So what you will get now, 2 times 10 power minus 7, 2 times 10 power minus 7 times IA into ln of root 3 times divided by 2 R dash Henry per meter per, it is not inductance per phase, it is the inductance per conductor. That is the reason why I have represented this as LA1. Now as A1 and A2, see, if you observe the diagram, finding the inductance of A1 is same as finding the inductance of A2, right? If you use the same analysis which I have used just now, in order to find the inductance of conductor A2, you will get the same value, because it is a symmetrical spacing. In a symmetrical spacing, you will get the same value. Now as A1 and A2 are connected in parallel, as the conductors A1, A2 are connected in parallel, now LA is nothing but half of the conductance, the inductance of each conductor. See, when you have two inductors that are connected in parallel, right, L and L, for example, what is the equivalent inductance? The equivalent inductance is given by, the equivalent inductance for this parallel combination is given by L by 2, means it is half of the any one of inductance. Here also LA is nothing but the equivalent inductance or the inductance of A phase. It is half of the inductance per conductor. So what you will get here, 2 into 10 power minus 7 by 2, right? You will not get here IA, so I made a small mistake again. So in inductance expression you will not get IA, because IA and IA will get cancelled. Now it is 2 into 10 power minus 7 times ln of root 3d by 2 R dash. What is R dash? R dash is nothing but 0.7788 R. R is nothing but the radius of each conductor here, right? Not each phase. So 2 gets cancelled. Now inductance per phase. So if you find the inductance per phase for LB and inductance per phase for LC, you will get the same inductance value, right? You will try it later. Okay, try later finding the inductance of B phase and find the inductance of C phase. You will get the same value, because the spacing is a symmetrical spacing, right? Now inductance per phase of a three-phase double circuit hexagonally spaced conductors, or three-phase double circuit symmetrically placed conductors, is given by the value which you can remember easily. It is 1 into 10 power minus 7 times ln of root 3d divided by 2 R dash Henry per meter per phase, where R dash is equal to 0.7788 times R. D is nothing but distance between any two adjacent conductors. Any two adjacent conductors, right? So this is a very, very important expression. Please, no need to memorize these expressions. If you understand the concept of how to write the flux linkage of one conductor in a group of conductors, you can find the flux linkage of that conductor easily. And if these two conductors are connected in parallel, just divide the inductance with 2. So this is determination of inductance per phase of a double circuit line which is arranged in a regular hexagon, right? So directly in the examination they may ask to find the inductance of hexagonally spaced double circuit line, or inductance of a double circuit line when it is arranged in a symmetrical fashion. Like this they may ask the question. So you need to derive up to the last thing. Now this is one method of finding the inductance, right? Now let us see another method of finding the inductance. Yesterday in the last class I have given you how to find the inductance, a generalized expression for finding the inductance for any type of configuration. It may be single conductor symmetrical spacing, single conductor unsymmetrical spacing, bundle conductor symmetrical spacing, bundle conductor unsymmetrical spacing. It can also be useful for double circuit. So it can be useful everywhere. So it is the generalized expression is 2 into 10 power minus 7 ln of dm equivalent by ds equivalent, Henry per meter per phase, right? So what is meant by dm equivalent? Dm equivalent is nothing but equivalent GMD. What is meant by dm equivalent? Dm equivalent is nothing but equivalent GMD. ds equivalent is nothing but equivalent GMR, geometric mean radius, right? So this expression is useful in order to find the inductance by using GMD GMR method, right? GMD GMR method is one way of finding the inductance per phase, and another method is flux linkage method, which can be obtained from the basics of physics, flux linkage method. So right now we have already used the flux linkage method of finding the inductance per phase, and we got that inductance as L is equal to 2 times 10 power minus 7 ln of root 3 d divided by 2 r dash Henry per meter per phase, right? Now we will see how to find GMD and GMR method, how to find the or how to get the same value using GMD and GMR method, right? Now I am finding the inductance by using GMD and GMR method. Let us see first what is meant by dm equivalent. It is equivalent GMD. How can we find it? It is cubed root of GMD between A to B, A and B, and GMD between B to C, and GMD between C to A. Similarly, what is ds equivalent? It is again cubed root of GMR of A phase multiplied with GMR of B phase multiplied with GMR of C phase. First, let us see what is the value of dm AB. How can you find geometric mean distance between A phase and B phase? First, you need to consider A phase as one side, which contains n number of conductors, and B phase as another side, which contains m number of conductors, right? Now what is the how can you find the GMD? GMD is nothing but it is mnth root of mn distances. Okay, please recall the concept of GMD and GMR. Okay, I am using that concept here again. If one side has n number of conductors or m number of conductors, whatever it may be, and another side has m number of conductors, the GMD can be determined by taking mnth root of mn distances. Now, what is m value? As we are finding the GMD between A and B, A phase has how many conductors? 2 conductors. So m is equal to 2. And B phase has how many conductors? 2 conductors. So n is equal to also 2. So 2 into 2, 4. So dm AB is nothing but 4th root of 4 distances. 4th root of 4 distances. This is the geometric mean distance of between A and B. Similarly, how can you find the geometric mean distance between B and C? B has how many conductors? B1 and B2. C has how many conductors? C1 and C2. So B has 2, so m is equal to 2, and c is also having 2, so n is equal to 2. So 2 into 2, 4. So for each and every GMD, it is DMAB, DMBC, DMCA. For all the three, you will get fourth root of 4 distances. Okay, so you will get the distances as D A1 to B1. First I am starting with A1. So D A1 to B1, next D A1 to B2. Similarly, D A2 to B1, next D A2 to B2. A2 to B2. These are the 4 distances. Now it is fourth root of, what is A1 to B1 distance? D. A1 to B2 distance, A1 to B2 distance is so they are alternate corners, so it is root 3 times D. A2 to B1 distance, A2 to B1 distance, again it is root 3 times D into A2 to B2 distance, A2 to B2 is D, so D. So finally what you will get is fourth root of root 3 into root 3, 3 into D, 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 D. So you will get D power 4. Fourth root means power 1 by 4. What you will get right now is 3 power 1 by 4 and D. This is DMAB. Similarly, you can also find DMBC. It is again fourth root of 4 distances, because B contains the conductors, phase B contains the conductors B1 and B2, phase C contains the conductors C1 and C2. So you will get again mnth root as fourth root of 4 distances. Now what are the 4 distances? 4 distances are fourth root of DB1 to C1, DB1 to C2, DB2 to C1, DB2 to C2. Now it is fourth root of B1 to C1. B1 to C1 is D. B1 to C2. B1 to C2 is root 3 times D. B2 to C1. B2 to C1 again alternate. So it is root 3 times D into B2 to C2. B2 C2 both are at same distance, means they are distance of D. So we will get the same value as we got for DMAB. You will also get the same value for DMBC. So 3 power 1 by 4 D. Similarly, if you try for DMCA by your own, you will get the same answer, which is 3 power 1 by 4 times D. Now by keeping all the things, you will get DM equivalent, means equivalent GMD as cubed root of DMAB, DMBC and DMCA. And we have just found that DMAB is same as DMBC, same as DMCA, right? And it is equal to 3 power 1 by 4 times D. So DM equivalent value is also now 3 power 1 by 4 times D. Now going to the second, what is second one? DS equivalent. DS equivalent is nothing but equivalent GMR. It is the cubed root of GMR of A phase multiplied with GMR of B phase multiplied with GMR of C phase. Now how can I find GMR? GMR is generally n squared root of n square distances, right? So what is n? N is, for A phase we have 2 conductors. For A phase we have 2 conductors. So we need to find the distances between the conductors of A phase itself. So n value is 2. As n value is 2, DSA is nothing but n squared root of n square distances, GMR. Now it is fourth root of 4 distances, fourth root of 4 distances. Now these 4 distances are the distances between the conductors of same phase. What are the conductors of the same phase? A1, A2. So first distance is A1 to A1 distance, next distance is A1 to A2 distance, third distance is A2 to A2 distance, fourth distance is A2 to A1 distance, right? Now what is DSA? DSA is equal to fourth root of A1 to A1 distance is always R dash into A1 to A2 distance. As they are at the extreme corners, the distance is 2 times D, so 2 times D into A2 to A2 distance is again R dash, A2 to A1 distance is 2 times D. So finally you will get the GMR of A phase as DSA is equal to fourth root of 2D into 2D, 4D square, so 4D square R dash whole square. If you simplify it, fourth root means 1 by 4, right? So 4 can be written as 2 square. 2 square whole power 1 by 4 is 2 power 1 by 2. D square whole power 1 by 4 is D power 1 by 2. R square whole power 1 by 4 is R dash whole power 1 by 2. This is the value of DSA. DSA. Now, what is DSB? DSB is also, what is N? N value is 2. Because A phase contains 2 conductors, B phase contains 2 conductors, C phase contains 2 conductors. As all the phases contains 2 conductors, you will get the GMR as fourth root of 4 distances, and as all the conductors of the phases are at same distances, means the distance between A1 and A2 is same as the distance between B1 and B2 is same as the distance between C1 and C2. So if you evaluate this, you will get DSB same as DSC same as 2 power 1 by 2, D power 1 by 2, R dash power 1 by 2, right? Now what is DS equivalent? DS equivalent is nothing but cubed root of DSA into DSB into DSC. It is also equal to DSA. As all are equal, DSA is equal to DSB is equal to DSC for this particular configuration. Okay, please don't generalize everything. For this symmetrically spaced double circuit line, DSA is equal to DSB is equal to DSC. Cubed root of this will give also the same value. So you will get 2 times 1 by 2, D power 1 by 2, R dash power 1 by 2. This is DS equivalent value. This is DS equivalent value. Now use these two expressions. One is DS equivalent and another one is DM equivalent. In which expression? In the generalized expression for inductance. What is the generalized expression? This is the expression. 2 times 10 power minus 7 ln of DM equivalent by DS equivalent. So now L per phase is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of DM equivalent by DS equivalent Henry per meter per phase. Now what is DM equivalent? We got DM equivalent as 3 power 1 by 4 times D, and DS equivalent as 2 power 1 by 2, D power 1 by 2, R dash power 1 by 2, right? Substitute here, you will get L per phase has 2 into 10 power minus 7 times ln of DM equivalent is 3 power 1 by 4 D, and DS equivalent is 2 power 1 by 2, D power 1 by 2, and R dash power 1 by 2. Now what you can do is send this D power 1 by 2 to numerator. So D power 1 into d power minus 1 by 2 will give you d power 1 by 2, right? Now each and every term contains power 1 by 2 except 3. It is Henry per meter per phase. So I can write this as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of 3 power 1 by 4 d power 1 by 2 by 2 power 1 by 2 d power 1 by 2 r dash power 1 by 2. Now I can write this as whole power 1 by 2 ln of, how can I write 3 power 1 by 4? 3 power 1 by 4 can be written as 3 power 1 by 2 whole power 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 will give 1 by 4, right? So 3 power 1 by 2 whole power 1 by 2, and I can write this as 3 power 1 by 2 into d divided by 2 sorry, I made the third mistake, sorry again. So you will not get here, you will not get d here, because here you will get d power 1 by 2 in the numerator directly. Now it is 2 r dash whole power 1 by 2. Whole power 1 by 2, if you can send it to the coefficient term. So L per phase now finally can be written as 2 into 10 power minus 7 by 2. You will get 1. So 1 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of, what is 3 power 1 by 2? It is root 3 d times 2 r dash Henry per meter per phase. So this is the inductance of a 3-phase double circuit line arranged in a symmetrical fashion, determined using GMD and GMR method. This is using GMD and GMR method, right? Now if you observe the thing which we derived by using the flux linkage, see here, let me show where we have determined the flux linkage value directly by using a flux. So this one, see, this is the inductance of a 3-phase double circuit symmetrically placed conductors. It is 1 into 10 power minus 7 ln of root 3 d divided by 2 r dash Henry per meter per phase. This expression is derived by using flux linkage method. By using flux linkage method means from the basics of magnetostatics, we have determined this expression.